Stomp the Yard, psych. While everybody's talking about whether or not Draymond Green should be ejected for stepping on Sabonis's chest after Sabonis tackled him, why don't we focus on something else real quick? I'm gonna get back to that. Do you realize that there's two young ladies, two young girls, Kelsey Johnson and Kiya Jackson, who have actually proven Pythagoras Theorem's theory. The theory of Pythagoras, the Pythagoras Theorem, is essentially a squared plus b squared equals c squared. It is respect to a right angle triangle and how the equal angles of the triangle equal, I believe, the circumference, something like that. I don't know. They're smarter than me. But at the same time, you know, when you see these two young African young girls living in America who are, you know, they're children, but they are geniuses. They've done something that few have ever even tried to do. Solve Pythagoras Theorem. Actually, none have tried to do it this way, through trigonometry. Now, it takes me into this direction. Who was Pythagoras? Where did he get his math from? Now, like, you might be digging and you might think, well, who is Pythagoras? Was Pythagoras a black person? And the answer to that is no. He was apparently he's a Greek from Samos. But this is what is interesting about Pythagoras. Two things. His theorem essentially was something of geometry that was studied via the pyramids. Looking into Egypt, it is clear to see that geometry in itself must have been invented in Egypt. That Africans were building pyramids or ziggurats, whatever you want to call them, thousands and thousands and thousands of years prior to the European even understanding the conceptualization of math, before the Germanic tribes had language, literal written language. These Africans understood trigonometry, geometry. They were building structures that today it would take a very special architect to be able to even design a pyramid. And so when we look at these two young ladies, they are truly stomping the yard. They are stepping on the chest of all prior theorists who've come before them. They are stepping on the chest of the concept that young black girls like this cannot be geniuses. They are re-echoing our past and showing true black excellence coming up. And that excellence and brilliance in the black community is part of who we are. These two young ladies, young, they're very young. The sky's the limit for them. And you know what? I'm going to put it out there too. Without taking away any of the greatness out of them, they are not the exception. They are not the exception, because black excellence is the rule. They are special in the area of mathematics, but they are not exceptional in the areas of excellence. They are who we are. These are the stories that we don't see. They're pushed to the side, they're pushed down, they're quieted. But the world should be talking about these two young women, these two young black, I can't even call them women, they're girls. They're little girls. So while we are highlighting individuals playing in the NBA, which, you know, it's wonderful, it's great, it's fantastic, while Draymond is stepping on Sabonis's chest, and while Skip and Shannon are going back and forth figuring out whether or not he should be suspended, let's take a moment. Let's pause to recognize. I know they want to say her name differently, but I see Calcea when I look at her name for some reason, and Nikisha. I see them as two young black geniuses stomping the doggone yard. Let's talk about that, and let's remember that there's a very hard, I would say, role to play when you're trying to teach your young people how black excellence is okay. It's okay to be great. It's okay to stand above the rest. It's okay not to be normal, right? But Calcea Johnson and Kiya Jackson, they said, we don't mind being different. We're going to show you guys that black minds are powerful. And we can stomp the yard in the area of mathematics, in the area of geometry. I believe one wants to be a biochemist. The sky's the limit, though. These young ladies can do anything their heart desires. As I call it my afternoon or my lunch thought, my afternoon conundrum of thought. How is it that we're not talking about these two young ladies stomping the yard? All right, Draymond, should he be suspended? Yeah, of course. Draymond always gets suspended in the playoffs. It always happens. Does that matter for Golden State? No. Sacramento's going to clean y'all out anyway, so it doesn't really make a difference. But is it news? No. These two young ladies are news. These two young ladies are what the world should be talking about right now. They are stomping the yard. Check them out. I'm going to spell their names for you. Calcea. Calcea. I want to say Calcea. That's what I want to say. Johnson. And the Kiya, Nekiya Jackson. Miss Johnson and Miss Jackson, you out here stomping the yard in mathematics. And we're proud of you. And keep up the good work. You're an inspiration. We can't even explain the stuff you guys are talking about. And so this generation of young people, I'm so glad that young ladies like this are around, that exist. It gives me hope for the future and to what this world can be with minds like yours out there. Keep stomping the yard. And Draymond, we don't care. We don't care if you're suspended or not. We don't care. No, we don't care if you're suspended or not. We care that black excellence is still out there kicking butt in Louisiana. Del K. Brereton, and that's the real spiel.